I think a good funeral is an event from which the people who are most affected by the death go home and feel proud of the send-off that they achieved for the person who died. It's also important that friends, colleagues, former workmates or whatever of the person who's died also go home feeling that was done really, really well. But I think a really good funeral is a participatory event where people feel that they have played their part. You know, it hasn't all been outsourced to professionals who did very nicely, thank you. They feel personally proud of what I did, whatever it might have been. We do need to say goodbye to people. I mean, you know, sort of grief counsellors say that if we don't do it properly, we're going to need to do it sometime down the line because it's all going to go bad, and that may or may not be true. It's, you know, grief affects different people different ways, and people are very, very much more resilient, than we suppose. But people, on the whole, do need to say goodbye. We also relate that to the changing landscape of death in these days, where longevity is becoming, not a marvellous thing, but a problem. Because when someone has developed Alzheimer's and their true self has died long before their physical death, by the time their physical death arrives, we've largely said goodbye to them some time ago, and we've grieved and we've mourned, and that's it now. Blessed release. He's gone. So different deaths, different funerals, different needs to say goodbye and how we do it. I think it's polite to do two things. Say whether you want to be buried or burned, and leave enough money for the funeral. That is good manners. But otherwise, it's rather like you say to somebody, what would you like us to do for your birthday? And people say, oh, nothing. So what would you like us to do for your funeral? Oh, nothing. Just put me in a black bag and stick me out with the rubbish. So what people say about what they want is normally different from actually what is appropriate for them. So I don't think people should be too prescriptive about how they want their funeral to be, because that might not be, a funeral must meet the emotional needs of the people who are gathered to say goodbye to the person who's dead. So I think don't be too prescriptive in the funeral that you plan. Death is a very good time to butt out. But conversations about death among your family, they should be frequent enough and deep enough so that people do feel empowered when somebody dies. So they feel, right, okay, we're going to put on a great farewell event, because it's something which they need to do in the way that they need to do it.